As a leader of your club, you will be called on to handle a variety of situations. Success of the club is predetermined by approaching the year expecting positive results. This training is designed to assist you, the club president, in meeting the goals and expectations of your members. As president, you are essentially the chief elected officer of your club. While you will be supported by a team of other club officers, directors, and committee chairs, it's your job to oversee the business of your Sertoma club. This can include, but is not limited to, leadership, program management, communications, governance, club operations, and planning for the future. One of your primary responsibilities is to build a strong leadership team. This is something you should be doing from the very beginning and perhaps even before you take office if you're able. Remember that leadership techniques can take some time and effort to develop. As president, you will need to foster an understanding of and constantly improve methods for delegating responsibility, presiding at meetings, and motivating members through tactfulness, integrity, and objectivity. Your leadership team will consist of the board of directors. In general, the board is responsible for the conduct and management of club affairs. Each club has its own standing and special committees, and it is your responsibility as president to make sure they are successful. Committees need to understand what is expected of them in the year ahead. Be specific about the goals and how they relate to building a strong club. This process starts with appointing your chairs before your term even begins. In making appointments, keep in mind the responsibilities of each committee and sell the importance of the task ahead to those candidates being considered for leadership roles. It should also be made clear to the potential chairs that each committee assignment will require a special commitment of time and effort. Although great emphasis is placed on the appointment of the chair, you shouldn't overlook the importance of your other committee members. Their work is what makes much of what your club does possible. Involve the chair in their selection, as they will be that chair's team. To ensure that your leadership team is on the same page, you can kick off your fiscal year by holding something known as a club leadership conference. This meeting should be a study of the club and will include the board of directors and committee chairs. The purpose of the club leadership conference is to make sure that the entire team has a thorough understanding of the responsibilities and duties of officers, directors, and committee chairs. Agenda topics may include things like club history and traditions, recent achievements, strategic goals, club operations and procedures, current projects, fundraising activities, and fiscal responsibilities. You can find a simple agenda and additional guidance on this topic by downloading the President's Manual in the Club Resources section of the Sertoma Member Center. A club's success is built on success, and that means achievement. Your role here is twofold, providing strong support for current ongoing programs and creativity in developing future opportunities. When looking at current programs, you and the board will work in tandem to make sure that they still make sense in the bigger picture. Does the program still serve a specific need in your community? Does it draw enough attendance and participation? Do you have enough volunteers to make it successful? These are just a few of the questions you'll need to answer. And when you're considering new programs, you want to ensure that it fits with your overall strategic direction. That's why it's so important that when a new activity or project is introduced, the board must clearly define its objective from the very start. It is equally critical that the committee or task force assigned to spearhead the new effort understand its function. The membership should also understand its purpose and how it fits in within the club. Finally, a quick note on budgeting. As you and your leadership team consider various projects and programs for the year ahead, give special consideration to the monetary aspects and financial needs of each current and planned project. It is important that each project be properly budgeted. The best rule of thumb here is to make sure that the appropriate income is available for all anticipated expenditures. Clubs with a healthy sponsorship account or successful fundraising track record find it much easier to embark upon a greater variety of service projects. As president, it becomes even more important than ever before that you know your membership. You will be seen as one of the primary communication links between your club and others. This includes your members, the National Sertoma Organization, and the community that you serve. Let's start by first looking at communications with members. In your role as club president, it is your responsibility to make sure that members are aware of club and mission activities. You will work with your secretary, membership chair, and others to make sure that club leadership is consistently sharing things like new ideas and progress reports. Transparent and open communication is critical to maintaining a strong ongoing membership building program. And don't forget, communication isn't just about talking at someone. You must also listen to what your members are saying and act accordingly. As president, you're also a link between your club and the larger Sertoma organization. It is encouraged that all presidents attend both their regional and the national convention during their term, as they are a great forum for exchanging ideas, training, networking, and more. And if you can't attend for some reason, it's your responsibility to make sure that your club is represented at these events. Additionally, the president, along with the secretary and treasurer, also receive important updates in the monthly Insider e-newsletter, so there may be some information you need to share with other leaders or your membership at large. If you don't already have a Facebook account, sign up and join Sertoma's Members Corner, a place where members and club leaders alike can share ideas and success stories. You'll pick up some great ideas. Finally, consider your role in the community. Much of the community's attitude toward your club will be determined by how well it is represented. In your position, you likely serve as the de facto spokesperson for your organization, and thus need to be sure that the community knows that your club can be depended on to serve. For instance, you or someone you appoint will likely spend time coordinating partnership efforts with other community organizations like the Scouts or Big Brothers Big Sisters. As your club's president, you will want to make sure that these commitments are well cared for and fulfilled. After all, it's important that the club be known as an organization that keeps its word. Most of your governance responsibilities should be clearly outlined in your club's bylaws. That's why it's so important to learn the rules and procedures under which your club operates. Make sure that you review these governing documents carefully so that you can be certain you are upholding all governing, legal, and fiscal responsibilities. We are not going to dive into this further here because we have many additional trainings that cover this topic extensively. You can access these videos through the training library at members.sertoma.org. Unless otherwise assigned, as president, you are the presiding officer of meetings. Oftentimes, this is something that is likely dictated through your bylaws. A key thing to remember here is that there is a major difference between a board meeting and a club meeting. The most effective clubs conduct very little or no business at their regular club meetings. Instead, club business should be transacted at committee and board meetings. Board meetings are also the time to set and review budget items, work on long-term strategic planning, and to handle any sensitive issues that might arise. On the other hand, club meetings are a time for member-to-member interaction, education, and fellowship. Here are a few very basic tips for presiding over meetings. Make sure that meetings are called to order and adjourned on time. Use a pre-published agenda to keep meetings on track. Club meeting agendas should include time to update the membership on any important board action items. Details of board and committee meetings can be included in member communications or newsletters. We would encourage you to check out additional resources on meeting facilitation in the Members Center at sertoma.org. It is critical that you ensure that the board fulfills its primary responsibilities and fiscal accountability in all matters. While many of the day-to-day tasks will be assigned to other officers, committee chairs, and volunteers, it rests on your shoulders to ensure that the board and other members handle all club business matters in a professional and ethical manner. One area that is especially true is finances. Start by fully understanding the role, function, and responsibilities of the club treasurer. This person will be responsible for receiving, processing, and disseminating club funds, as well as providing regular financial reports. As president, you will need to make sure that the board is upholding its system of checks and balances by reviewing these reports, monthly or quarterly depending on the report, following best fiscal practices, and making smart financial decisions. The same goes for insurance. The president and board should be aware of the ins and outs of the Sertoma Insurance Program to make sure that the club is adequately covered for any contemplated activity from which a liability may arise. You can find additional guidance on both of these things in the President's Manual and on sertoma.org. Finally, club leaders are responsible not only for this year, but the future of the club. Club officers, including the president, should always be identifying those members who have demonstrated talent in leadership, as they are likely the committee chairs and officers of tomorrow. A prudent club leader will help those special members walk through the process of becoming more involved in club affairs through committee work, project management, and other volunteer service. You should also be planning for the future of your membership. The president will work closely with the board and membership chair to ensure that an aggressive membership campaign is underway year-round. Don't worry though, you're not alone. Sertoma has provided several great training and informational resources on membership recruitment, retention, and engagement in the Members Center Club Resources section. This concludes today's training. Remember that help is available. Your Sertoma specialists, directors, and headquarters staff are always available to answer your questions and provide needed information. As we have mentioned throughout this presentation, you can find additional training and resources on this and many other topics by accessing the Members Center at members.sertoma.org.